My brother got fired on the spot. I sat at the far end of the private dining room at the St. Regis in Aspen, right near the drafty kitchen doors. I had just wired $14,500 to cover this entire weekend retreat. My money, my black card on file, but I was practically invisible. My younger brother Brandon was holding court, bragging about his new promotion to senior VP. His boss, Craig, sat to his right, wearing an obnoxious Rolex and laughing at all of Brandon's terrible jokes. And me, I was the family's computer repair guy, the hermit who stared at monitors all day. That's how Brandon introduced me to everyone. I just come off a brutal 72-hour incident response block. No sleep, hunting a zero-day ransomware strain that was actively crippling a major European sovereign wealth fund, but I couldn't say a word. NDAs, federal security clearances, the usual silent treatment. So I sat there in my comfortable, worn-out hoodie, completely drained, while my family guzzled down the $400 bottles of wine I paid for. "Let's raise a glass," Brandon announced at 9 p.m., tapping his crystal flute. The table hushed. "To my new role, and to Craig for trusting me with the offshore accounts." He paused, his eyes locking onto me with a cruel glint. "And to my big brother, Derek. Thanks for crawling out of your dark little basement to join the adults. I know dealing with real-world money is scary for you." My cousins chuckled. My jaw tightened. "Yeah, Derek," Craig chimed in, swirling his scotch. "Brandon tells me you work in IT support. Resetting passwords must be a real adrenaline rush. Do you even know what a derivative is? Or are you just qualified to plug in routers?" The whole table erupted in laughter. Someone joked about me getting replaced by a basic algorithm. I glanced at my parents. Dad was busy cutting his steak. Mom was smiling at Brandon. Neither of them said a word in my defense. They never did. I had paid off Dad's mortgage last November. I covered Brandon's entire Ivy League tuition. I funded this luxury trip, and they just let him treat me like a joke. "You know your problem, Derek?" Brandon slurred, leaning over the table. The scotch was making him aggressive. "You have no ambition. You're just a bitter geek." He reached over and violently grabbed my heavy nylon backpack off the empty chair beside me. "Let's see what top secret nerd stuff you're hiding." He flipped the bag upside down. My gear slammed onto the hardwood floor. Cables, a secure laptop, and my lanyard. Attached to the lanyard was a heavy, matte black titanium authenticator drive, a bespoke, federally issued physical key with a very specific, deeply classified red insignia. The room went dead silent. I didn't yell. I just stared at the mess. Mom hissed, "Brandon, pick that up. You're making a scene." I stood up slowly, my exhaustion turning into pure, cold focus. But before I could speak, Craig's chair scraped violently backward against the floorboards. The arrogant banking executive was suddenly pale, sweating profusely. His eyes were glued to the red insignia on the drive. "Wait," Craig choked out, his voice trembling. "That's a Federal Reserve Level 9 audit key." He looked up at me, pure panic expanding in his chest. "You're an Apex auditor. You're the ghost team that runs the silent compliance checks." "Craig, what are you babbling about?" Brandon laughed nervously. "He bought that piece of junk on Amazon." "Shut your mouth, Brandon," Craig screamed. The entire restaurant seemed to stop. He turned to me, his hands physically shaking. "Mr. Cole, I swear to you, I didn't know. Our firm's compliance review is next month. Please, I had no part in this disrespect." I picked up my drive, wiped it off, and clipped it to my belt. "Your firm's security posture is as weak as your judgment in personnel, Craig." Craig spun toward my brother, his face red with rage. "You told me he fixed printers. You're fired, Brandon. Clear out your desk by Monday. I'm not losing my federal banking charter over your idiocy." Full story on the channel, link below.